All right, okay, we're live. Now I'm not broadcasting from RJ Ogren and Disney. It's from Randy Jack Ogren, and we'll see if this works. We're having technical difficulties today. I apologize to everybody who and there's Catherine Ann. Okay. Hi, Catherine. Wow. Um, Fifth time's a charm, and now everybody's coming on. This is very strange. I was trying to go live from the group and RJ Urban and Disney, and for some reason it just wasn't sending anything out for all of you to join. And boy, everybody's jumping on now. Okay, show's over. Bye.
We did it.
And I wanted you to see, I made a really nice sign this week so that I can use it every week before we start. And each week I'll have a different little character that I sketch. This is obviously the opera singer from the Haunted Mansion. So I will take that off because it's after 3. Oh boy, there's a close up if you want to see her. There she is. Okay, let's get that out of the way. All right, first, hold on a minute. I'm gonna call our dog. Shayla. Shayla, come here. Oh, I hear her now. You're going to get to see our dog. And the reason, this is Shayla, Shayla, and it's Irish name. She is a rescue dog, and she's 12 now. I'm going to tip the screen here. See, there she is. And she's here because I have a cookie. There you go. Oh, yes. She loves cookies. Say goodbye, big dog. And good cookie. Yeah, I'm terrible. We feed her everything. Done that with all our dogs, and they all live to be old. That's good. So, hi everybody. I got to see her dog. Shayla is actually, she was a rescue dog. She was 3 years old when we got her, and she's 12 now. And Suzanne and I were going to go to the county rescue place to see if we could find a dog. And I went online first to see how much it was going to cost us, because a lot of these places, that have animals that they rescue, they want $200 and $300 and $400, and they want to know what your background is and how much money you're making. I'm going, dear God, that shouldn't have anything to do with it. It's just, come on. So anyway, I went online to Page County Rescue, Animal Rescue, and they had a thing right on the front page that said a little box, and at the top it said dogs $100. This was with all the shots and everything. Cats $100, and then the third line said seniors $1. So I couldn't resist. I called them up, and the woman answered. She was very nice. I said, I'm calling about a senior. I'd like to buy one for $1. And she laughed. She goes, we have got to change that. And it actually was what it meant, of course, was that they were allowing senior citizens to buy a dog or a cat for only $1, and they had all their shots and everything else. And before I continue the story, Romina is right there. There she is with the big Goofy right behind her. So you'll hear her talking. We were going nuts trying to get the show on today. I had all this time to prepare, and then I couldn't get it to come on. But anyway, I got to finish telling you. This is funny because anyway, so we drove to the pound, and on the way there, Suzanne she said, "Wouldn't it be neat if we could get a black lab?" I went, "Oh yeah, right. They bring those in all the time at the pound." Well, we get there, and as we walk in, all the way across the room, sitting on a bench with this young couple, and here's this black lab, a field lab. Actually, black field labs, or just black labs. Field labs have longer legs and they're thinner. than your standard labs. But and they had the dog on a leash, and oh boy, somebody got a lab. Well, we go in, the woman takes us back, and we're looking at all the dogs. And as we came back toward the front, here's this black lab in a cage. And I went, whoa, is she available? And she goes, yes, they just brought her in. The couple was having money problems because of the recession and couldn't afford to keep her. And so Susie and I are looking at it, and she's just jumping up on the edge of the cage and trying to get to us and stuff. And this other woman was right there too, and she goes, "Oh, this dog is beautiful." Susie turned around, and I was gone. I mean, and so she said later, "What? I didn't know what happened to you." I had run out to the front desk because I was afraid this woman was going to get there before us. And Susie and the woman were still standing back there. I was already up front saying, "We'll take the black lab." Which is what happened. And then, of course, we had another dog at the time. We had to go home and get the other dog and bring him out, bring her out so they could get the two dogs together and make sure they're okay. Then when we went in to fill out the papers and pay, and the woman says, "Okay, Mr. Irvin, that'll be $1." And his family beside us all did a, what? I says, "Yeah, senior citizen, sorry. You can buy a senior for $1, actually." So anyway, that's how we got Shayla, and that is the name they had given her, which means from a fairy island or something like that. So, Bob Livermore, hi Bob. Bob and I are old high school friends. Well, we're not old; we're just high school friends. I just happened to glance over and see that. You know, it was funny, Bob. I got to tell you, we were decorating my 50 Ford for our homecoming, and we were building a actual Viking ship on top of the car. I have pictures of it. And at one point, I was doing something on the side of the car. I had the car door open, and I can't remember your sister's name, Bob. She closed the car door on my fingers. It really hurt. And to this day, I still have a little bump on 2 fingers where evidently it messed up the bone a little bit. I was thinking of that just the other day. Tell her forgive her. I'm not upset. So, okay. You can see I have the drawing from last week, and in just a minute here, we're going to start on that. And I will sit back, relax, get your mug with my picture on it, and watch the show. or get your T-shirt now with my picture on it and my quote, "Capture life's magic and dreams." We'll talk about that in a little bit, how I came up with that. And but anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy, and and I okay, real quick. That's typical, right? I'll keep on talking. I'll never draw. No update on the mural yet. We're still going through the process for a couple more weeks on that. Like I said, you want to sit back, watch the show, or sit back and read our books. Our new book, which we are working furiously on because we have a deadline the end of May to get it to Theme Park Press, our publisher. And I've got some gripping titles for some of my chapters I thought I'd pass on, like A Rowboat in 20K. Ooh. Turn Tail is another one. Another title is That's Just Wrong. And the last one is I Hate You. And I will tell you this. One is, of course, in 20K, so that's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. The Turn Tail is in The Jungle Cruise, and That's Just Wrong is in Peter Pan Flight, and I Hate You is on Main Street. And no, I did not say that to a guest. That would be wrong. And I have to tell you this: I got my first commission from France. I've got paintings that are in England, Australia, Canada, of course, the United States, but this is the first time I've been commissioned from somebody in France who, I'm not going to say the name of the person because I don't know if they want me to say that. But he is actually a ghost host on the Phantom Manor. I said that right, Romina?
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Phantom Manor
In
is the
France.
haunted mansion in
Yeah.
France.
So I thought that was really cool. All right.
We also want to talk a little bit about since we're talking about France, a little bit of the Notre Dame.
Oh, that's terrible. That was just so sad, but at the same time, very, very excited to see that already over $1 billion has been donated to rebuild. So, but that was terrible for, I think, everybody to see. It didn't matter if you were Catholic or not. It was just horrible. That's such an icon and such a meaningful building that represents Paris and France. And hopefully, they're saying 5 years, but it could be longer. I think in 5 years, they'll have a lot of the main stuff done that people can visit. They just won't have a lot of the other details done yet, or some of it, we'll see. So, anywho, hi everybody. I'm going to draw.
Now, you talked about your mug earlier. You have
Yes.
that new T-shirt with your quote, and I know it is on your page on the About.
Yes.
So if you go on RJ Ogren and Disney, you can find the link there. So if you're interested in the T-shirt, that's where it'll be.
Thank you. And our books are on Amazon.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll come back to the quote, "Capture life's magic and dreams," in a little bit. Now,
Okay.
for those of you who have not seen the last 3 shows, actually, 3 weeks ago, I think, yeah, I did Romina. I didn't do this actually for this show, but Romina and I did a video chat, and I actually sketched out what she was thinking and what she wanted in the library of the Haunted Mansion with all the different ghosts. And so that's how this started. And if you're interested in a commission painting, and you have an idea, but you're not sure how you want it to go, that's what I can do. I will actually sketch out how to put it all together, the different elements. And then we went from that, and then a few weeks ago, so it was actually 3 weeks ago, yes, I did this on the show. So that is fairly to scale, because this is going on a 30 by 40 inch canvas right behind me. And we have the different ghosts appearing here, the hitchhiking ghosts, the guy coming out of the coffin, there's Leota, there's the suit of armor back here, of course there's the busts in the bookcase that rotate, and then we have the opera singer, there's the piano, you'll see his shadow on the floor, and there's the caretaker and his dog outside the window. So I've taken the library and put it together with the window with the piano room, I guess it would be, and put them together, and then of course put the coffin in there. And this is going to be in black light and regular light when I paint it, and also in 3D. And Romina is going to get a pair of glasses that are actually digitized 3D glasses. They're clear, that separates the colors. Red will come off of the picture the furthest, blue will sink in the furthest, and then the other colors are in between those, the red and the blue. And in the daytime, it'll look like a regular painting, and at night, when you turn the black lights on, it'll glow in the black light. And when you put the 3D glasses on and move around the room, everything in the painting that I create and want to turn or rotate, I can have Leota, the opera singer, any of these figures will look like they're rotating and following you wherever you go in the room. And they'll come off of the painting at different levels. So Leota will come out about 8 to 12 inches off of the front here. It's a wild process that I, of course, learned how to do blacklight painting in the Haunted Mansion and Peter Pan, Snow White, and Mr. Toad. And then I took this into doing sets for sets I designed. I've done shows that have blacklight in them, but and over the years I've developed it into murals in homes in blacklight and regular light, and now I'm doing it on paintings. And this will be the first painting that is actually going to be in the 3D process. So that's pretty exciting. A bunch of firsts. My first commission from France, my first 3D painting on canvas. And I do have, actually I have a commission coming up that's going to be from England next week. So just one thing after another. So get those out of the way. Now this is crazy here because I, to lay this stuff out, to lay this painting especially, it's like when I do the castle on Main Street. I have to make sure everything is vertical, that's supposed to be, and horizontal, it's supposed to be, and work off of there. Parts of this are, of course, in perspective, the sidewalk here, the wall over on this side, and over here I have already drawn in, just sketched in a rough of the caretaker and his dog outside the window. And there's the piano and the piano stool. That's the rug, and there'll be the shadow of the piano player. And there's, of course, the opera singer right beside one of these alcoves in the bookcase that have the busts that rotate. But what I started doing last week was laying out the bookcase across here, and then it comes out at an angle this way. And I had to make sure that everything is correct. This is wainscoting behind the opera singer on the back wall underneath the bookcase, and there's a chair rail there, and then there are what, 7 shelves for books. There's a wide band at the top. There will be a chandelier up here with the ghosts that are going back and forth and toasting with a drink. But to do this, I know I've got my big triangle I will use, which obviously I use for painting and also on murals. That's why it's such a mess. But also my handy dandy square. This is great. I mean, because I use this when I'm doing stuff in set design and everything too, and building sets. But this makes a great tool for it because it's 2 feet high, which is one of the better things about it. So it's great to get the verticals in here. And I'm going to just move this over here and draw in. Now I use pencil. I prefer pencil, and I just have better control with it. It's not as messy. And these 2 bands I'm drawing in right now are where the other alcoves are. And they are wider than the separations between the different bookshelves. In other words, these dividers here going vertical are not as wide as on either side of the alcoves, which in a few minutes I'll actually put in the curve to draw in the alcoves here. But okay, and over here, this is where it actually will change on the angle. So right here we have this split. It's good to do this. It's so much nicer to know that I've got a vertical line than to look at it when I'm painting and go, you know what, that's a little tilted toward the left or the right. Now, rather than trying to hold this square like this and come across, I'm going to show you what, because I really want you to see what I actually go through. And this happens when I do the castle paintings on Main Street. I will sometimes do this. Oh, I'm going to tilt it the other way. So you're going to look at it really weird here for a minute. And I'll show you why I'm doing this. Okay, there we go. The bookshelves themselves, which are now going this way. I'm going to go to the top of by the ceiling and finish drawing that line over. Are these showing up okay, Romina?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. And now I'll put in so that's the top of the bookshelves, which has some fancy molding on it. And here's your bookshelf. I got a little wide. So I'm just continuing the line down of the bookshelves, but this way I know it's straight and horizontal. And so I pick up elements from my years working in architecture and also in scenic design. And I put them all together. Some people say, well, why don't you get this tool or that tool like other artists use? I went, why? I'm comfortable with this. It's the way I do it. And it's quick and easy. And I always get a kick, people, when I would do renderings, and some people say, well, you can do renderings now and do them on the computer. I says, by the time you get that all laid out and start doing it, I'll already have drawn it. It's only because I've been doing it for so many years. And all right, now I'm down at the bottom of the bookshelf. Oh, one more. Okay. This one. And this is the wainscoting. And I will do that line. That's not real dark because this is the base, where the baseboard is, but you won't see that much of it. So, but I got to get it over to this corner, and there's a reason for that, which I'll show you in a minute. Now, I will turn it back over the other way so you aren't turning your head side. You're all looking at it like this. Hold on. Now, you're back in business. Okay. Move a little bit that way. There we go.
It's good to mention, though, that you, unlike any other artist for Haunted Mansion drawings or paintings, you work there and you're detailed to everything. Like when we were going through the process, I had forgotten about the rugs underneath certain items. So, and you said that there's a rug there and it's this way. So, it's important, the detail, when you do something related to a particular ride or a particular item at Disney.
Yeah, it does. It makes sense. You want to get all those neat details in here. It's like over here, I also have the chandelier that would normally be on top of the piano, but you asked for it to be floating, so it's going to be floating
Correct.
in the air, which would be really neat too, because it'll be, of course, 3D, and it'll look like it actually is floating when you move around the room with those 3D glasses on. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, just to make this a little more clear here now, I'm going to, okay, I have a ruler. I'm going to, let's see, it's about 4.5. Okay, I'm actually finding the center of Leota's crystal ball there. And then I want to take that over. Okay, this is the table. And got a crazy oval going here because you're seeing some of the top of the table. I'll list this some more later. And it does have a wide edge to the table. Now, the crystal ball, another holdover from my, ta-da, a template. I have got templates for all kinds of things that I use when I work in architecture. And I'm going to lay out the crystal ball here. And I'm going to check. I have numerous pictures that I have taken and others I found just as references. She actually is, yeah, that'll work. Let's see. She is about that high off the table. So this is going to be Adam Leota's crystal ball. Sometimes when I'm doing stuff like on a set or something, I need a circle, and maybe I've got a circle that's got to be this, 2 feet around. I'll just take a round bucket that's much smaller and put it in the middle of it, draw a squiggle around it, and then I can just go around bigger around that, just eyeball it. So, can you see that circle okay?
Yes,
okay.
I can.
So yeah, she's on there's a, it rests inside of this piece that, ooh, okay, yeah, has crazy legs to it. And this picture doesn't show enough of it, so I'll have to get that. But it comes about looks like about 8 inches off of the tabletop. And then, of course, coming down from that are the legs of the table, which will come down here. I'm not going to do those right now. I'm going to get back on this. Now, on the bookshelf, let me bring this in a little closer. Is that better? Okay. I drew my bookshelf lines right through where these alcoves are. So I'm just going to erase. I've got a pink pearl eraser. And I can not completely get that line out of there, but it doesn't matter because I will, when I do an undercoating of paint, I will paint right over those. But anyway, and this is kind of neat too, because when I do this, then I've got shavings from the eraser on there, and I just have to have in my draftsman's brush, drafting brush. Nice and soft, cleans it off. See, all the different elements, all the things I do. I even have, for more detail, for scale, rather than use this regular 18-inch ruler, I've got a architect's scale, which is, I got a 1/2-inch scale, 1/4-inch scale. It's got different scales on here for measuring out feet and inches on a drawing to scale. But it is very handy for doing stuff here, so I use that too. The alcoves. Now, here I can get to use this again, my circle template. And looking at those, they are, I'll go with this one. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me while I twist the bolts down at the base of my easel. Because if I don't, it starts to roll away from me when I'm pressing on there. Okay, back. Now, there's one.
Are we going to see you when you do your base coating? Are we going to see you like paint all over those lines? But you probably will be able to see it and not us.
Yeah, next week on this, I will start putting in the base coat colors, and not necessarily the exact finish color, but something a little darker or similar to what it will be. And
Okay.
A lot of lines, well, all the lines will disappear, but you'll also see, it'll make a lot more sense because then you won't be seeing it in pencil anymore. You'll be seeing it in the different
Right.
colors. The and I noticed inside these alcoves on this, it's dark, which is good in the actual setting, but I won't go strictly black. Believe it or not, I'll put a little bit of blue in there behind these busts that rotate. And it's part of the 3D process and everything, and it makes them 3D even more and work even better. So very subtle. Okay, let's see, what was the size here? This, I had put a little mark here earlier, so I know where the top of these are. But there's, okay, haha. And they actually have a band on the top edge. So I can go to a next one of the larger sizes here. No, this one. And draw that in.
Now, I haven't been to the Haunted Mansion in a few weeks now because I moved out of Florida like a month or two ago. And I can't remember how many alcoves. Is it 4?
There's 6 or 8.
6 or 8, okay.
I don't remember offhand myself. I know there's at least 6. So I've got 4 here, and there'll be 2 over on this side.
Okay.
And yeah, there we go. Yeah. And there's some detailing between that I'll worry about when I paint. I'm not going to put that in now. This is the bottom of this alcove here. And this is the bottom of this one. And the alcove down here. Oh, that looks wrong. I've got the alcoves on top. See, you get to see me make mistakes. Let me check my picture here, make sure I've got this right. That is 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's correct. I have to look at these alcoves, and they are like 2.5 high. So that's 2.5, and then 2. Oh, this goes up higher, obviously, because that's why it looks funny. And when I figure out where I put my, I do this all the time. I lay something down, I can't find it. All right. Ignore those other lines then. Now I've got to measure this again. I'm going to come down from the top there. Let's see. This is 3 and 3. It's all the way up there. Aha. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Old handy eraser again. Let's take a little bit of that out. I'll make these lines darker. And you know, a lot of people look at it and go, "How do you figure out what you're working on there?" So, because I want this to be as accurate as possible. Now I see part of the difference. Yeah, these alcoves rest right at the top of the wainscoting, right at the bottom. These are set up so that they actually come up at a different. The height is the same inside, but okay, right there. And this one. So when I paint next week, I will because the bookshelf and all this woodwork is all the same colors, but I'll leave a little bit so I can see the curve there. And obviously I'll paint this one out.
Now, this is a painting that has a lot of detail in the background because of the bookcases. Do you draw every single book, or you just paint every single book?
I'm going to draw every book and I'm going to put the title on it. And this painting will take 3 years. No, no, actually, it's just going to be the different colors of the books. They go from blues to greens, browns, and reds, and some almost a raw umber to them. But again, I have to be careful when I'm doing this because of the 3D. But the bookcase will be done so that it is more level with the canvas here. The great thing about this is if I do it that way and keep it more neutral, so I can't put bright blues or bright reds on this bookcase. You put those 3D glasses on and those books will suddenly start floating 8 to 12 inches off of the canvas. They'll be very subtle the way I paint it, so all the books are on the same level when I paint them. So even though they're different colors, they'll be toned down. And that'll help these figures stand out in the alcoves, which I'm not going to do detail on this. I'm not going to worry too much about too much detail on these guys right at the moment, but just so you can see. So, and I will get more detailed pictures of the different alcoves. I want to try to get them correct to which ones are in which alcove. But they're generally the same as far as their height and shape. So there you are. That's where they'll be. And the great thing is there's not bric-a-brac or any other thing on the bookshelves. It's just books. Some books there's a space and a book is tilted on its side or angled and stuff like that. So I'll create that.
We'll have the RJ book, the one that's tilted.
Yes, the ladder will be over here. actually going behind the casket, and the book will be up by the top of the ladder. So the book that I actually made for the Haunted Mansion will be on there. And sitting on this table with Leota will be my mug with my picture.
With Leota wearing your T-shirt.
With Leota, yes, we'll actually give her some. No, we'll have the opera singer wear a T-shirt or one of the ghosts. So anyway, I'm gonna. All right, I've got most of this. I got to tell you, the legs on this table are really funky. If you've ever seen them, they're very bizarre. I'm just going to do that right now so you can see where the legs are. And there is a big carpet under here. So there's the carpet under Madame Leota, and there's the carpet that's under the piano. Then we have the, I don't need the circle ticket now. Let's see. What I need to do is put in that chandelier, actually. Oh, and outside here in the cemetery are going to be the busts that are singing.
Yes, outside the window.
These
outside
guys,
the window.
yeah, outside the window in the cemetery, and they have this. That's actually a picture I took.
And are you going to put those
Here's
glowing
one
in
very
the dark?
Yes, yeah. Oh yeah, all the let's see, yeah. The bookcase and as the rugs go back in the distance, they'll go to darker, it'll be darker. Again, creating great depth in this painting, but the ghosts and everything else will be pretty much like you see them, like the opera singer. She'll have that bluish, whitish glow to her. And the figures, I found this figure. That's actually a picture of the actual ghosts on the chandelier, but they are, so they're reversed in this picture from what you see, because they are a reflection on the glass that you, when you go by, and makes it look like they're sitting on the, so they're actually sitting on the ledge above you as you go past. That's why you can lean forward and you can look up and see a couple of their feet going back and forth as they move. And to work on them a couple times, I had to kind of slide forward carefully and to work on, and I had to sit with my legs hanging over the ledge. It's a long way down. But anyway, I got this so I could see a little more detail. And this chandelier is going to be up here, and actually quite large, bigger than I initially had it, so that it will come a little bit in front of that alcove. And then if I do that, okay, I'm going to come down further because I need to have my ghosts visible. So, yeah, they don't have to arm up in the air. So this guy sitting here, oh, that'll be about right, yeah. And he's got his arm up, he's holding a glass there. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and then there's his leg, this other leg, and she's right beside him. She's got her legs crossed. I don't know if you ever knew that.
No.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but she does. She has her legs crossed. Let's see. Yeah, this leg crosses over this way. So she has her leg crossed, and she's holding the glass, her glass, up in the air.
I think I can see the detail on the right that she is holding her glass.
Yeah. So, okay. So this now becomes the top. I know it's messy. Get over it.
We don't mind.
So
Actually,
yeah,
that scene is one of my favorites. I mean, I look forward to seeing those two look like they're having a fun time.
yeah. And then you got the chandelier doing that.
Yeah.
So they're sitting right about here on the chandelier. There's the bottom edge of the crystals and stuff that are hanging down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that pulls them forward, which I needed them to be bigger than the opera singer or the guy outside the window and everything. So they look like they're
Right.
more over the Madame Leota.
Right.
And I'll clean that up more later. It's not that important right at the moment. I want to go to the oh yeah, suit of armor.
Yes. And the clock.
And the clock, that's right. Where'd I put the clocks on the back wall, I think is what I had. Are y'all still with us? Anybody asking any questions? Does anybody care?
No, there are a lot of people online. I don't see any questions. Catherine is on, Natalie, Lamar, Brian, Bob, Tony, Pat,
Hi, everybody.
Larry, Christine, Judy,
Wow.
Brian.
Okay. Well, hi,
So
everybody.
yeah, and Gail. Sorry, Gail.
All right. Yeah, I have a picture of the suit of armor. And it's kind of funny when you start looking these up. And I know somewhere in my, because I've taken over all the years, I've taken pictures going on the attraction. The reason you don't see a picture of me working on numerous attractions, there are pictures of me working in Country Bear Jamboree, working in the Jungle Cruise, and in the Carousel of Progress, and of course some in the studio. But we weren't supposed to bring a camera, but I would bring one once in a great while, and that's how I managed to get pictures. Otherwise, it might not be an actual record of me working there.
You made it all up.
I made it all up, including those pictures. Okay. What's funny is you start looking up the suit of armor and they show a whole bunch of different ones. I went, wait a minute. Pick one. So I will do a little more research to make sure I've got this I believe is the correct suit of armor, but I want to be sure. He apparently is different in some of the other mansions.
Correct.
Which would explain why there are different pictures, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. but I do know that the guy in the Haunted Mansion holds the pike or spear. I think.
Correct.
And this
I
guy,
do remember that.
yeah, this guy does have that. There's his cod piece. Strange name for something. Okay, so yeah, you don't see his feet behind her table. And then we have the clock.
Right. That I think strikes 12 with the hand, literally a hand.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'll have to. I'm gonna move this over. Yeah, there you go. You can see this edge of it here now. Because what I want to do, lock this in place so it doesn't fall on me. Oh, take a break. I have Big Al, one of my favorite characters to work on. I made of some of the bears. I made all new fur cloths for him. Big Al was one of them. And we didn't do the costumes, so we did the fur cloths though on any animals. The costumers were not allowed to do that, and we had patterns and everything. And of course, it's heavy. We had to have heavy-duty sewing machines, and the guitar that was something we took care of. But his vest and his hat, just like other characters, any clothing, that was done by the costumers. But what was so funny is the costumers always would come in, and we'd come in after they'd been into an attraction. They always wanted to touch the fur cloth. They always thought it should be brushed. So they'd instead of making a bear scruffy like it was supposed to be in some places, they'd come in and they've combed all their hair. We said, stop doing that. What was most annoying was they kept doing it to the dog in Pirates, and they did it to the dogs in Carousel of Progress, and they looked really strange. And we'd come along and I'd fix that. So, couldn't get them to stop brushing their hair. But this actually was a ceramic piece I found with another one I'm going to show you here. And I painted it. Oh gosh, I don't know if oh, look at that. I did sign it. R.J. Overton, 1977. So it was when I was working at Disney. And you can see and you can hear it. And so rather than try to glaze it or anything, I painted it with acrylics and then sprayed it with a clear acrylic to protect it. But when I painted him, of course, I painted all the shading in his face and everything else, just like the actual bear figure. And then this character was the same thing. I think I got him at the same time and did the same thing. I painted him with acrylics, then coated him with the clear acrylic. So he sits up on the shelf between our books. Actually, you can see him in the mug picture and the shirt picture. He's fine. Okay, all right. How are we doing? We got about 5 minutes. Time flies.
I know.
Wow. Let me show you where this casket is. Yeah, there we go. Okay. The casket sits on a base. Now, before, when I was drawing these lines, I said I had to come down. All right, I've just drawn this corner line of the bookshelf right to there, and that's the line coming across, yes, at the base of between the wall and the floor. And then I've got to come off at an angle for this wall going that way. And I'm going to make that less subtle. I think that I don't want it to be too severe of an angle. So if I take it like that, then that brings, yeah, that's better. Okay, we'll go with this angle. So then as I'm coming up, to the top of the wainscoting, the angle changes a little bit, and here's your chair rail. Ignore this line. And that will happen with each of these bookshelves as they go up. So little by little as they come up, they will change in their angle. And you're right about here. So this one will change just slightly. And then they start to go the other way. So now the angles start to go up at the end over here. I'm not drawing these too dark because I may adjust them a little bit.
So those lines that you're drawing is a continuation of the roof, like at a corner?
Yeah.
Okay.
This actually, yeah, you can see them a little bit, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's the more bookshelves going. It's coming to this corner and then going out, and it's not a right angled wall there. So that's why I made this a more subtle, as opposed to this wall, which is more right angle coming off in perspective. And so
now the room coming along better. I can see it.
Yeah, and now I can put the casket coming off of that wall.
Right.
And what I'm doing right here is, this is just the base of that the casket sits on. That's the floor level right there.
Now you said that the casket sat on something. Isn't it draped with a black cloth or something? Am I wrong?
There is, yeah, there's some black material, but there's also solid parts of it there too. And there's a lot of cobwebs and stuff, which I will include in this. And so I come right about there. See, that's at that level. I'm looking at Madame Leota here and where she is. Well, that'll work, I think.
So his hand will actually be facing.
His hand will be up here.
Correct.
Yeah, going away from you. So you're actually seeing it on the way you come through the ride.
Right.
So here's the casket here, and then the lid lifting up, and his hand right here. Yeah. I'll put in details on that later.
Okay.
And there are candelabra on here too that are tilted because he's opening that lid up. And actually this one tilts a little bit more than this one because it's kind of like he's prying it and it's bending a little bit.
Right.
Also, there will be a crow, which and I didn't put it in here. I'm gonna put the chair right here. And
okay.
I think so. I'll have to decide that because I don't want it to block this bust.
Yes.
So I may leave the chair out.
Okay.
And I'll either put the crow on a stand, because actually there is a crow by the coffin.
Okay.
He's down on this end,
Okay.
but I may put that behind here, because right here, as I bring the shelves across, the verticals, let's see, I've got, see, and y'all just thought I just whipped these things right out when I'm working on them.
It's a lot of work.
It's complicated when you get into this stuff. And
well, not only that, but you draw to scale, and your architectural background helps with that. So that's quite a bit of information that you need to acquire in order to do the painting.
yes. And let's see. Yeah. So as I come around the corner here on the bookshelf going across at this angle, these
Right.
you're seeing these foreshortened. So even though this is let's see, this is just over 2.5 feet. So I'd make this one like 2.25. So it's going to be shorter. And actually, as this comes up here, then you'd have the first alcove, right? The other alcove right there.
Right.
With the arches and bus here and here. And then the ladder would be over right here. Not right there. We'll put it right beside the edge of the casket, so that, and then the book that moves will be up there. So that'll be the ladder. And then I can put the clock. I can put the clock here. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. And each of these coming out actually at an angle do get a little wider on each one. So even though this one might be, let's see, 2.9, this one would be, yeah. So each one as it come across will be a little bit wider. So you'll see about 2 more things of bookshelves. And I'll check, but I think there may be alcoves here too, but I may not put them in there because that would throw my bust right into the frame of the picture part ways, and it would be weird in 3D when you put the glasses on. So I think we're done for today. Yes? No? Please let me go home.
Yes, I think we are, because we started late, but we didn't, you know, we wanted to get some time in because we started late, but there are just a few more details, probably the hitchhiking ghost and then the bus, the singing bus outside.
There will be one hitchhiking ghost up above, which now
Correct.
I had him here by the chandelier. I'm going to move him over here now. Another.
Yeah, we can even put him floating around.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of them floating. Another one will be over here, possibly even in front of the window some. And I had another one that was here behind the casket, but I may move him. I'm not sure.
Right.
So, yeah, so there's those 3 hitchhiking ghosts go in here, and what fun. So now, by next week, when we come back to this painting, now I'm doing other paintings in between.
Yes.
Just so you understand, if you're new to this process we're going through, I'm working on this mostly just during the show each week until Romina's painting catches up and gets to the top of my painting queue list in a couple months, and then we'll go into the finished processes. But next week, I'll correct my lines here that I put in lightly, just so you can see them, to make sure they're proper, and do a little more sketching here. I'll do that before next week, and so then next week I'll actually start blocking in colors. So you'll see me putting the blue behind the windows here in the cemetery, roughing in, and these characters in the bookshelves, everything. It'll be a lot of fun, and I'll work fairly quickly. I'm going to try to get all the block colors in 1 hour. He says.
Yay!
but we shall see. So I will want to make sure I have my bookshelf layout and the casket and everything in the right spot before I start blocking colors next week. So it'll take me about another hour to finish this off, so I feel comfortable with it. On that note, everybody, and the last thing to mention, Capture Life's Magic and Dreams. I was talking with a young artist just the other day, and it came up about what you're looking to put into paintings and everything else. And I didn't say the word capture. I can't remember what the word was now, but I said life's magic and dreams. And Susie says, "Oh, that's nice, but why don't you make it capture?" So Susie gets credit for the word capture. But I have a quote. RJ has his own quote now. Only took me almost 75 years. I'm sure I've said other things that I don't bear repeating. So, but anyway, so that's my quote. Everybody, have a great weekend. I hope the sun comes out. It's been kind of a dreary day here. Romina's drinking from her RJ mug and waving goodbye. There she is. Wave goodbye. Oh, I messed up the picture. I did it again. There we go. There we are. So there you go with the mug. And we will see you next Thursday at 3 o'clock. And there will be some serious painting done here. In the meantime, everybody, remember to capture life's magic and dreams. See you next week.